Welcome to Incognito Islamic Productions.
Assalamu alaikum. The topic that we will discuss in this video is: why were the wives of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam not allowed to remarry after his demise? Certain polemics try to make an issue of the Quranic verse that declares that no one is allowed to marry the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam after his demise. The verse goes as: O you who believe, nor is it right for you that ye should annoy Allah's Messenger, or that ye should marry his widows after him at any time. Truly such a thing is in Allah's sight an enormity. Such polemics tried arguing that it was unjust to the wives to be forbidden to remarry, but such an argument shows total ignorance of the details of the issue and status of the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the house of Islam. In very clear terms, Quran calls the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the mothers of the believers. Allah the Almighty says in the Quran, the Prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves, and his wives are their mothers. This shows the strong spiritual relation between the Prophet ﷺ's wives and the believers, and obviously the command under discussion goes very much in consonance with their status mentioned here. None with even the slightest sense of morality will ever take an exception to it. Further, we read in hadith a prayer of the Prophet ﷺ regarding his wives. It is stated, Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, I asked Allah that I marry none of my people, but she be with me in the heaven, and I was granted. And as they were to be the wives of the Prophet ﷺ both here and hereafter, so the wives of the Prophet ﷺ were not allowed to marry any other person. Following narration makes it absolutely clear. Allah's Messenger ﷺ said, in the paradise, a woman will be with her last husband. Hudayfa radiallahu anhu said to his wife, if you wish to be my wife in the heaven, do not marry anyone after me, for a woman will be with the last of her husbands, and for this reason Allah forbade it for the wives of the Messenger ﷺ to remarry after him. An important thing to note, never did any of his wives show any desire to remarry after him ﷺ. In fact, there are many of their statements which show that they understood and made claim to their motherly right over the believers. Moreover, those who had been the wives of the best of humankind must have willed to enjoy the same status in eternity, and thus no idea of remarriage would have ever hit them. Recall above narrations. So when they never had any problem with the Quranic law, why on earth should someone talk of that? Indeed, Allah knows best. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.